What's up everyone, my name is Malik, and today we are going to talk about the Shanghai Dragons and their major upset in the Overwatch League right now. This has been possibly one of the craziest story arcs that we have seen so far. They went from being 0-40 last season, setting a professional sports record and not in the good way, to now being one of the best teams in the league. It seems like under the guidance of Gamsu, they have turned into one of the most talented, meta-breaking teams. On Friday, the Shanghai Dragons put down the New York Excelsior 3-1 in a dominant fashion. The Shanghai Dragons' complex composition left the New York Excelsior confused and unable to adapt to the chaos. The Shanghai Dragons have constantly showed us the impact of controlled chaos, and Ding is a prime example at creating space and chaos for his team. Now, last night, the Shanghai Dragons did the unthinkable and defeated the Vancouver Titans, often considered the best team in the league right now, and they did it looking very, very good. They beat the Vancouver Titans 4-1, and that is saying something. Today, we're going to break down the Shanghai Dragons style and how they've used their unique abilities and their teamwork to beat even the best teams in the Overwatch League. To even begin breaking down the Shanghai Dragons style, we need to first talk about their team. First off, we're going to start with Gamsu because he is the newest member of the Shanghai Dragons, save Envy who doesn't get as much playtime. They came into this team new and fresh, but they also had a new sort of pressure on them, a pressure to carry this team and get them that win. And when Gamsu did just that against the Boston Uprising, that was a statement to every team in the league that the Shanghai Dragons were not one to be messed with and they could not be held down.
Catches them, 2 kills instantly over. The sound barrier comes out from Kelix. They're going to be stacking the ultimates with the transcendence from Aim God, but I don't think it's going to matter. Nope, going to get popped out. Gamsu swinging away like a madman, doesn't even know which way to look, but it doesn't matter. Takes them out.
And now the Dragon is coming back up to strike again. While for the majority of this season, Gamsu has played Reinhardt, in these past few matches, he's played more Wrecking Ball and Orisa. Not really that weird, except that his Wrecking Ball is far better than most of us expected. Now he's no Ameng, but he could be getting there. One thing that Gamsu is doing really great on Wrecking Ball and Orisa is being able to hold down the point and do a lot of displacement. Wrecking Ball, he's really great at moving around and harassing certain targets. If a target is hiding in cover, he can come whipping around the corner and knock them into line of sight for DM or Ding. When he plays Orisa, he is a crucial role in holding down the point. It is his job to stay on the point that allows his other teammates, his damage dealers and healers, to be able to do their jobs. I believe Gamsu has been a huge staple for the Shanghai Dragons and a big reason for their turnaround. It seems like they are in a better place this year and this season, and I'm so excited to see where they go. Next up, let's talk about Luffy. Now, Luffy is shaping up to be one of the best Annas in the league. His Anna sleep darts and his nades are absolutely on point, and when they went up against the Vancouver Titans, sometimes his anti-nades were the choice between life and death, because not only did it ensure that the Vancouver Titans didn't get healing when they were playing that GOATS composition where they're all bunched up, but it also gave his team a lot of healing also. Coma usually has his hands full keeping DM and Ding alive, so that means that Luffy has to pick up the slack, and he does a damn good job at it. Speaking of which, let's talk about Coma, because he is a vital portion to their composition. You see, the Shanghai Dragons are able to play so aggressive some of the times, especially Ding, because Coma does a lot of healing to an individual person, and also if one of them goes down, he can go in for a revive. And that is a game-changing ability. That can mean a map win or a loss. Having that extra person on the point when things are going south can mean the difference. Like I said before, he most of the time has his hands full with Ding, who often is playing Pharah. Now, this is one of the key components along with DM's either his Sombra or his Widow. What Ding does is he spams certain corridors and certain entrances into payloads and makes sure that the enemy team can't come in. And it also, what it does is it redirects the enemy team to come in a certain way, whichever way that the Shanghai Dragons want them to. DM does another great part in this as playing Widowmaker because he keeps those sightlines and looks for squishy targets and makes some amazing picks which shut down fights before they even begin. Youngjin is another player that we shouldn't forget about because his Brigitte play is very consistent, and that in the Overwatch League is more than you can ask for with some players. He has played Doomfist here and there, which he does create space for his team, but it's not the best Doomfist that we've seen. Envy is a fairly new addition to the roster, and he has primarily been filling in as a Sombra. Alright, so now that you've got a rundown of the team, let's break down a few of their matches and talk about what the Shanghai Dragons do to beat GOATs in just about every other composition in a dominant fashion. Today we're going to go over some examples where they've lost games and where they've won games, just so that way you can get a fair look at the positives and negatives of their playstyle. I'm by no means saying that this playstyle is perfect, but I am saying that it is dominant against the top team right now. We're going to start on this first map on Ilios when they went up against the Philadelphia Fusion. What I want to highlight here is Ding's positioning and how they use the buildings to their advantage to navigate where they want their enemy to go. Starting out, Ding goes right over the top and gets behind the Philadelphia Fusion. You can see him just launching rockets in and kind of distracting the team while doing some damage. While Ding launches the rockets in, Gamsu and Envy are pressuring from the side with Luffy in the back line. Now, a big disadvantage to this, and one thing that I want to point out, is you'll see how the Philadelphia Fusion just make a beeline towards Luffy. They just go straight for him, knowing that if they take him out, the rest of the Shanghai Dragons will crumble, and it works really well. The Shanghai Dragons get the initial cap on the point, but as soon as the Philadelphia Fusion dive in with their beefier bodies, there's really nothing that the Shanghai Dragons can do. The downside of this composition is that you have to get the point initially. It's all about getting that initial cap because it becomes very, very hard to retake the point without having any big tanky bodies. You're kind of just going in there and dying. All these 200 health heroes are just going to get melted. The Shanghai Dragons have grown into their own beautifully. They are playing their own composition, their own style, how they want, and it's working for them. The Shanghai Dragons are excellent at spamming corridors and closing off entire entrances to objectives. Even when they get jumped, more often than not, they collapse in order to help whoever gets attacked, and it's usually Luffy, the Ana. As you can see on Ilios, the Shanghai Dragons use the corridors on the center to spam damage and funnel the enemy through the buildings. They then attempt to jump on the dragons, but they back up and pick the fusion off one by one. Even though they leave the point to deal with Poco, they save Envy and come back. On Volskaya, watch how the Shanghai Dragons set up with Ding and Koma in the back left, firing rockets and diving onto Carpe. Young Jin and Gamsu move through the room on the right, putting light pressure on the fusion up top. DM pops shots from up top, and Luffy is in the back room keeping DM, Gamsu, and Young Jin alive. The Fusion are trapped at this point, with Gamsu and Youngjin on the point with support from Luffy up top. DM keeps popping off shots and takes down Sado, while Ding and Koma keep the Fusion under control on the right side. Now, EQO tries to flank around with Neptuno, but watch how half of the Shanghai rotates to deal with them, while Gamsu faces towards the respawn, keeping Boombox and Poco in check, while Luffy stays close to the wall, healing Gamsu and DM. On the attack of B, the Dragons did a unique attack where Gamsu takes up as little real estate on the point as possible, minimizing the space between him and his team in the back. Gamsu is in the front, right on the point, Luffy is in the mid, and DM is in the back, taking shots, ensuring that their team is fairly covered. Not to mention Ding and Koma move back and forth. Now, Ding gets slept in this room, but Youngjin protects him. Luffy and Koma rotate to help him, and DM moves forward, keeping pressure. Then they stabilize and re-engage again. Gamsu stays in the same amount of space, allowing his team to move about. He is the solid rock for them, and he is also allowing DM to take what shots he needs. Ding gets aggressive and Koma keeps the healing and damage boost on him, being able to move back and forth through this little corridor, and DM just keeps popping off in the back. In this lapse map, Ding comes forward to harass, and when he gets focused, the Nano is devoted to him, and then Gamsu comes forward and pushes them off the point, giving the dragons the split second they need to take the point. So how does this all work? So one thing that I should mention is that Ding does play Pharah, and the whole concept of spam damage in space is a really big thing for how the Shanghai Dragons composition works. Now, Action Esports actually just did a video about space. It's really awesome. You guys should check it out, and it's really a key concept to understanding how the Shanghai composition works. So essentially, they're spamming damage into these corridors, allowing their tanks to create pressure in the front line. Youngjin and Gamsu on Orisa or Wrecking Ball exert pressure on the point as well. Well, what the Shanghai Dragons do is Gamsu is the one who is on the point. He is the one who's dedicated to getting the ticks. Luffy usually stays close to him and Youngjin, and their goal is to just keep the point, and they are the core that holds the point and keeps the point alive. From there, Diem usually positions himself behind them, allowing him to pick off shots and also watch out for flanks. It's a really great positioning and something that they used up against the New York Excelsior and the Vancouver Titans. Ding and Coma are specifically dedicated to just harassing the team and spamming damage. Think of them as dogs herding sheep, telling them where to go and pushing them down a corridor, only to have their vicious team waiting for them at the other end. Now, I'm not going to be one of those guys to say, look, we have a new meta, it's the Dragons meta, because this lineup wouldn't work for every team. This composition isn't for everyone. The Dragons just have such unique skill sets and such a high level of Widowmaker play that they can make this work. Gamsu is a tank that doesn't require a lot of resources, and what that allows them to do is put more resources into Ding and Diem, allowing them to do what they need to do and clean up the point and spam damage. From there, Youngjin and Luffy just make sure everything else goes according to plan and that everyone on the team stays alive. And whether Youngjin is playing Roadhog, Anna, or Doomfist, he is always making sure that his teammates are taken care of. And that is the magic of the Shanghai Dragons playstyle. It's that they all work around each other and they distribute their resources evenly. Not one person takes up too many resources so that if they fall, the rest of the team would be taken apart. And a big part of that is Coma's Resurrect, which allows them to not have to worry so much if they're going to play super aggressive. As long as Ding doesn't get killed far out in front, Coma can usually get the Resurrect, or the team can rotate to protect while the Mercy does get the Resurrect. I'm so excited to see the Shanghai Dragons perform in the finals today. I am more than 100% positive that they are going to win this. And yeah, hopefully we'll have another breakdown once it comes to the Overwatch replay viewer. When we get that finals, I'll do a big analysis video for you guys. Let me know what you think about the video and what you think about the Shanghai's playstyle. Be sure to smash that like button and leave a comment. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.